talking about all three fights, the picks have been one-sided. So the championship fight, I think I've seen two people out of a million who have chosen Blachowicz to win this fight.
Hey, hey, yo, man, I tell you something. Rate style bender still on it. We know
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But you can easily tell that, right?
Mm,
Like style bender style. Him have a great fighting style, especially for a guy with that kind of length, with the way him fight and
mm,
the way him put it together. Love it. Here's where that fight kind of scare me, right?
mm.
If it comes down, it'll come down to game plan. Feel like it'll come down to game plan, especially since it's gonna be another small cage there because this fight is gonna be in Vegas, correct?
Right,
So it's in that small cage, the same small cage that I fought Luke in,
right.
right? So now a guy with his style, there's a lot of moving parts to what am I doing now? There's
Yeah,
a lot of movement. Is a guy that in fight style based in a footwork and based out of movement and feints and everything there, right?
true.
So when you face a big guy like that, especially not a small cage, they occupy a lot of space. And you need range management and depth perception is what I'm used to control a lot of the fights them.
Mm,
And a guy like this in Blachowicz, he's gonna put a whole heap of pressure. He's gonna be big, he's gonna be durable, right? And it's kind of gonna be hard for the style man to get off some of the movement and the range control them usually able to get off. So it's gonna be hard for him to do that another fight here, in my opinion. But I
yeah,
still believe that him we have a massive advantage on the feet, and him still can probably pull it off, right?
yeah.
On the feet.
Mm-hmm.
But the game plan of Blachowicz, if Blachowicz say, you know what, I'm coming inside, I'm putting a whole heap of pressure, and I'm gonna get a hold of you. That's where the risk is now. If Blachowicz can get him to the ground, keep him on the ground, and grind him out and make it mean, nasty, and ugly, that kind of fight, then not the kind of stand up in front here, I try to play the
Mm,
game with it, I try to pick on, and you can't play that game with the style bender car, I'm gonna deal with it that way, right?
but
But
yeah,
if him go on the inside, get him to the ground and try to grind him out, I feel like that's where the key to victory for him is, which I don't want to see Adesanya go out like that. I would love to see him go out there and just kind of get the KO, get the
yeah,
KO or TKO, which I do think he will. But this
yeah.
is one of his most dangerous fights, I think.
Really? You know what? So here's the thing, though. I feel like many of his opponents before have had that mindset that they want to make it ugly. They want to
Mm-hmm.
get close. They want to hold him against the cage or take him down, but they're just not able to. They're just not.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen him stall people to a halt with his feints, with the swift kicks at the start, and then because they know how good of a counterpuncher he is, they just can't. They don't. They become inactive. Like Romero. Actually, I actually see this fight ending up a lot like the Romero fight because Blachowicz is a very good counterpuncher. A lot of his
Mm-hmm.
knockouts come by counterpunch, and he stands around a lot before he even tries. So even if he's not counterpunching and he decides to come forward, it's after he stands around a lot. Now we know that Israel during those times of him standing up is going to be at least piecing up the legs, right? And he's going to be throwing feints like crazy. He's going to throw those jabs, and I think on top of that, Blachowicz don't have no crazy cardio. I saw it, I mean, you look at the Luke Rockhold fight. By the second round, Blachowicz was starting to breathe hard, especially when he thought he had Rockhold hurt. He was really going in to try to get it finished. And, he was starting to breathe hard. He did get the finish, of course, but Rockhold don't move. Alessandro is a mover, and he's going to constantly move. So I think we have the potential. This fight has the potential, and I know nobody don't want to hear this, but it has the potential to be very boring, like the Romero fight. Um,
Yeah, but those fights that you just mentioned, what was the size of the cage?
oh well, I don't know. I
Those are
don't
all
know.
full cage, full size octagon.
Well, you tell me, how much of a difference is it?
It's a massive difference.
Seriously.
Massive difference. Usually, when the fight starts, I have to run to the center to
Right,
take charge of the fight.
right.
when with this the smaller cage, when they say fight, I take 1.5 steps and I'm in the center.
Yo, that's a big difference, Richard.
That's a huge difference. For a mover, that's a big, for a guy that fight a footwork based fighter.
Which makes this whole
that's massive
situation very weird. Because with the kind of star power that Adesanya have, usually the A side gets to choose the circumstance. Like the
COVID choose the circumstance, no?
Well, but bro, Dana could have definitely done this fight in Saudi Arabia, bro. Like him could have go back to Yaz Island.
Absolutely. But you know what? I don't know. What kind of deals they have there, and you know, there's a lot of moving parts to the UFC. You know.
Oh, for sure.
You know, we don't know why. Maybe
for sure.
Maybe potentially move the fight to a later date, but I don't know what the motive is there. What?
Yeah. Man, it's gonna be, that makes the fight a lot more interesting, just the fact that it's a smaller cage, because I really wasn't seeing any advantage for Blachowicz before, other than his obvious Polish power. But that advantage comes down to almost nil because I don't see him touching Adesanya. I don't see him. But like
in a bigger cage, I feel the same way in a bigger cage.
In a bigger cage, exactly.
Yeah, but in a small cage like this now, it makes a big difference, because just based off of Adesanya's style, you have to remember, say, the way a lot of these guys fight, 99% of the MMA fight of them is more, it's like you go, I go type of style, right? It's a tough man competition more time. You know, it's like I'll absorb where you can give and then answer back. Stalben and I really fight them with it. It's more like it's interceptions.
Yeah.
As you firing, I'm sliding out of the way and I'm looking to intercept and find my opening.
Yeah.
You know, so it's always my go. It's never your go.
Yeah.
Whenever you go, I'm out of the way.
Right.
You know, so just that style alone, it's gonna be harder for him in that small octagon, I think. And I think if Blachowicz looks for the takedown and can get him down and keep him down, that's a problem. And it's gonna be easier because.
But then that's the other thing. Like, I don't see him keeping him down if he takes him down either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That, like, Adesanya is wily and like he know how to scramble. Like, he's got all the evidence has shown that like he don't stay down. You know, he get up.
I mean, I hope so. I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
But there's a different weight class. Weight classes make a difference, you know, brother. Yeah. Weight classes is a big difference. Sure. But he's a big guy, a big, strong guy, you know, and I'm sure he fought heavyweight before, won heavyweight Grand Prix before in different tournaments in kickboxing. So who knows? But we just have to see.
And I don't think he's actively putting on a whole heap of weight, which I think is smart. Because if he really tries to put on that 205 frame, I think his speed advantages, he has to worry about that. His cardio, he's going to have to worry about that.
Yes.
I think he has a big cardio advantage. And obviously speed and reach. So them thing there, I think he'll be able to keep those, which is good. Cool. So so I guess everybody got it on Adesanya again. But I'm glad that you made it a little more interesting by talking about the size of the cage.
Yeah, that's a big difference, man. Trust me, that's a big difference. But all in all, Adesanya is my pick in this fight. But I do think this is one of his more dangerous opponents in it's based off of the size of the guy and the size of the octagon. And I do think that Blachowicz is coming to wrestle.